Listen up. What a wild week it's been for Celtic. We've got drama, determination, and a bit of magic from Paradise. Carter-Vickers fighting through injury like a proper warrior. Brendan Rodgers dropping a massive claim about Liam Scales, and wait till you hear what he said about Nygren and Engels. That one's huge, trust me. Stick around till the very end. Big thanks to last week's top commenters. You've been brilliant. James Brooks, always leaving great thoughts. Margaret, thanks for joining the chat and supporting the channel. Billy Noon, cheers for jumping in as well. Let's see who makes it onto next week's list. Keep those comments coming. We have 6 news a day to keep you updated with the mighty Celtic. Hit that subscribe button and be part of it. Now that was a proper Celtic night, wasn't it? The kind that leaves your heart racing faster than a pint disappearing at the Brazen Head after full time. A 2-1 win over Sturm Graz. Finally, that first European victory of the season, and yet, of course, it couldn't come easy, could it? Because this is Celtic and nothing's ever straightforward in Paradise. Now let's talk about Cameron Carter-Vickers, the rock at the back. The man who plays as if he's carved straight out of the Clyde shipyards. The big lad finished the match last night practically on one leg. You could see him wincing, gritting his teeth, still throwing himself into tackles like a warrior from the old Celtic lands. Turns out he was carrying a knock, but he refused to come off. I refused, because by that point, Brendan had already used all 3 substitution windows. Rodgers said after the game that they simply couldn't take him off. The rules are the rules, and that meant Carter-Vickers had to fight through it. Now, that's heart, that's leadership, that's what wearing the green and white hoops is supposed to look like. Not one of those Sevco softies clutching their knees and rolling about like they've been shot by a sniper in the main stand. No, our lads stayed on, defended with grit, and helped us hang on for the win. But let's be honest, this injury situation is starting to look grim. Alistair Johnston had to come off. Iheanacho too, both before half-time. It's like a medical drama out there. You could almost hear the physios screaming, "Not another one!" And now, with Hearts waiting for us at Tynecastle on Sunday, Rodgers has some serious thinking to do. He'll be praying to every saint in Glasgow that CCV's fit enough to play, because without him, that backline looks shakier than a pint on the edge of the table at closing time. Rodgers was proud though, and rightly so. The team showed fight, belief, and that never say die Celtic spirit that's been missing these past few weeks. Coming from behind, winning ugly, but winning all the same, that's what separates us from the rest. And if we can build on that, maybe, just maybe, we'll start to look like the Celtic we know we can be again. But here's what I want to ask you, and I want your honest thoughts on this. Should Brendan have risked leaving Carter-Vickers on, knowing he was hurt? Or was that the kind of warrior spirit you need if you're going to wear the hoops? Hit like, hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's jai it, loldy, till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic drafts. Now that's what I'm talking about, eh? That was proper Celtic spirit on show against Sturm Graz, full of fight, fire, and a wee bit of that Parkhead magic that makes your hair stand on end. We didn't start well, I'll give you that. When Horvat rattled that screamer into the top corner, the whole place went quieter than Sucky Hall Street on a Monday morning. But you could feel it, the crowd still believed, and the boys didn't crumble. And then up stepped Liam Scales. What a story this lad's writing, by the way. Just over a year ago, everyone was saying his time at Celtic was done, shipped off to Aberdeen, future in doubt, forgotten by most. But now, he's standing tall under the lights at Paradise, scoring goals in Europe and being called the most consistent player by Brendan Rodgers himself. That's massive. Brendan doesn't hand out praise like that unless he means. The way Scales took his goal, calm, confident, composed, you'd think he's been scoring like that all his life. And let's not forget, it wasn't just the finish. It was the leadership, the composure, the way he marshaled that backline alongside Carter-Vickers, who was basically running on one leg. Scales has turned himself into a proper mainstay. Remember when folks said Trusty would take his spot? Not a chance. Not with Scales playing like a man possessed. It's wild to think that under Ange, he was barely getting a sniff. Now, he's sitting on over 100 appearances, 8 goals and 6 medals, and a new contract to go with it. You can tell Rodgers rates him. He called him a stalwart, and that's exactly what he is. The kind of player who gives everything for the shirt. No nonsense, no drama, just pure graft and pride. That goal against Sturm Graz wasn't just about 3 points, it was about belief. It reminded everyone what this team can do when it clicks. When we play at tempo, move the ball quick, and attack with purpose, that's when Celtic look unstoppable. And it was Scales, of all people, who lit that spark. But here's what I want to ask you, and I want your honest take on this one. Has Liam Scales just cemented himself as the first name on the team sheet now? Or do you think Rodgers still needs to bring in another defender come January? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's giant loldy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs. Now, that's what you call a proper Celtic night under the lights at Paradise. A bit of drama, a wee scare early on, and then pure magic to turn it all around. And let me tell you, 2 names stood out above the rest: Benjamin Nygren and Arne Engels. Honestly, these 2 lads gave everything, and Brendan Rodgers was buzzing about them after the match, and rightly so. Let's start with Benji Nygren, The Swede was asked to play out wide instead of his usual central spot, totally out of his comfort zone. And what does he do? He goes and bags the winner with a header that took guts and determination. You could see it in his face after the goal, that mix of relief and pride. He's one of those players that just gets it, doesn't moan, doesn't shy away. He'll play wherever he's told, so long as it's for Celtic. That's the kind of mentality that turns a player into a Parkhead favourite. And the boss was full of praise for him after the game. Rodgers said Benji's performance summed up everything you want in a Celtic player: bravery, energy, and persistence. He missed a few chances, but he kept going, kept believing, and eventually got his reward. That's the sort of fight that wins games in Europe. Now, Arne Engels, what a shift that lad put in. He came back into the starting 11 and looked like he'd been playing there all season. Rodgers said it himself. His set-piece delivery was world-class, and you could see why. The pace, the precision, the confidence. The boy looked like he was born to play in green and white. He brought a proper spark to the midfield, snapping into tackles, keeping the ball moving and showing that bit of class every time he touched it. It's no wonder Rodgers was grinning from ear to ear after the match. Between Scales' leadership at the back, Nygren's match-winning goal, and Engels bossing the midfield, you can feel something clicking again. Maybe, just maybe, the Celtic we all know is starting to wake up, and I'll tell you what, Paradise was bouncing when that final whistle went. The roar, the relief, the pride, it was all there. Nights like that remind you why we love this club so much, but here's one for you. And I want you to think about this. If Benji Nygren keeps playing like that, out of position or not, should he stay on the right wing for good? Or do you reckon Rodgers needs to move him back into his natural role once everyone's fit? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's giant laldy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs.